God's time comes. Today I want to share a few words that we didn't even read in our hearings today because they are very common scriptures, and that is in the book of John where we read that the first ministry of Jesus Christ when he turned water into wine. Everybody knows that scripture, and it is a beautiful scripture. Everybody likes to be happy, and that time Jesus made everybody. Everybody very happy. This was the first miracle that Jesus performed ever. Since creation, since he was born on earth as man, to this time, nobody had known what Jesus can do. Other than being a common person, just like me and you. But this particular day, he made a difference. And people became merry. This particular scripture, it was a wedding that was about to go wrong in Cana. People had arranged for the wedding, but something was just about to go wrong. And for us to understand this scripture or this story very well, let me tell you something about Cana in Galilee. Okay, Galilee was kind of a lowly town. Kind of poor town, not very wealthy. And we also remember that we talked about Isaiah talking about the north, and I mentioned the northern part of Israel, and I compared it to the northern frontier district where they are being attacked by shifters all the time, and most of the Jews had departed from that area, and most of the people who used to live there are the Gentiles, the mixture of the Jews with other foreign tribes. They had been abandoned and they had been left there. So it was not affluent, very affluent place. But Cana was a city where it was affluent. People were wealthy in Cana. That was a region in the same city, just like in Pullman, but one part of Pullman, there is the affluent people living there. Posh place. And every time you go there, you know you're going to have a party in style because people there are wealthy. Unfortunately, and if you want to think about Cana, let me give you an example of a place like Muthaiga in Kenya, or in the United States, Hollywood, or in Nairobi, Kitusuru. You know, where if you are invited to a party in Hollywood, you expect that party to be in style. You don't expect to go to Hollywood and you're in a party and you're offered coffee or tea with a plastic cup. And when you go there, you expect the party to be wow. Now, everybody who had been invited to Cana, this wedding, they knew where they were going. They knew the fun that they would get. They knew the fluency of the city. But now, this wedding was just about to go wrong. They were running out of wine. And you know how embarrassing it would have been to the family. You know how embarrassing it would have been to the group. You know how embarrassing it would have been to the hosting family. You know how it would have been embarrassing to the bride herself, knowing that she has been married to a place where the family cannot even afford wine. This would have been a disaster. We have all attended weddings, and some of them have become disastrous, and we talk about them. I always imagine how it would have been for the newspapers in Cana, what the morning titles in the headlines, the headlines would have read. That only in Cana, where you can go and have no wine. All the titles would have been the scandalous wedding in Cana. I am trying to imagine the titles of the newspapers of the day. The titles that would have been there. The breaking news, CNN breaking news, the unexpected had happened in Cana. So you see, when Jesus turned water into wine, he really saved a situation that would have been very embarrassing. And you know those days, weddings were a great deal. Even Jesus himself mentioned himself as a bride and the church as a groom. Jesus even gave a parable of the 5 virgins who were waiting for the wedding, but they fell asleep. Jesus was giving examples of the church in comparison with weddings. So weddings have always been something very important. And in this particular day, because disaster was about to happen, Mary, the mother of Jesus, realized that, whoa, a disaster is just about to happen. It's very interesting. Every time you have women around, you're safe. Because they see further than men. Sometimes men don't even see, and if they see, they don't care that. In Kikuyu, they say, meaning that men don't feel shy. When you think you are going to embarrass a man, men don't get embarrassed. But women do. And Mary realized that this family would be embarrassed. So Mary went to Jesus and told Jesus, there is no wine. It's interesting how Jesus responded. He said, woman, what has that to do with me? My time has not yet come. But what Mary did, Mary told the servants, whatever he tells you to do it. And Mary left. And there's something that we need to learn from that. If we know who we are telling our problems, if we know that we are telling our problems to Jesus, we don't need to dwell on that. You tell Jesus your problems, he has taken care of it, and then you go and think about something else. Mary knew exactly who his son was and the abilities of his son. Although Jesus, there's nowhere we read that he had ever performed any miracle. I don't think even he had increased the sugar at home. I don't know whether Mary had ever experienced something like that. But Mary knew, you tell Jesus, he went. He trusted that who he told would take action. And when we take our problems to Jesus, we should let go. You don't need to have answers. You don't need to have sleepless nights after you tell Jesus your problems. The problem with us as a people is we tell Jesus and we are still there waiting. Jesus, I just told you. Come, I just told you, Jesus. You keep on insisting and complaining. It is not bad to pray. But we need to have confidence and trust that when we bring an issue to Jesus, he has taken it. We should cease to be bothered by that thought all the time. There are some thoughts that bother us, and they keep bothering us. We pray, and then when we are praying, we open our eyes to think about it. And then we remember we are praying, then we continue praying. The thought comes back again, and then we start thinking about it. And all of a sudden we remember, we are praying, or I'm praying, then we continue back praying. I think we can learn something from Mary. Let us take our problems to Jesus, and after we do that, we rest in peace. We go and do something else. Although here Mary said, Jesus said, my time has not yet come. Very interesting. God's time came to Jesus when he least expected. I don't think that Jesus was just making fun to Mary, saying my time had not yet come. Remember, Jesus was God, yes, but he was man. And all the time, Jesus went to pray to his Father so that he may get new revelations. And I don't think Jesus was acting when he used to go and pray. He was really going to pray because he was man, and man has his own limitations. And Jesus, being man with a body of humanity, he had some limitations. And those limitations, he had to bridge them with prayer. So when Jesus said, my time had not yet come, he meant every word. Yes, he knew he was a son of God. Yes, he knew he had a mission. He had already spent 30 years, and the time had not come for those 30 years. I'm sure he would have expected the time to come when he was 15, but he didn't. Maybe he would have expected the time to come when he was 20, but he didn't. Maybe he expected the time to come when he was 25, but he didn't. Remember, he was man. Although he knew he had a mission. Because if Jesus came and knew everything that was going on and what he was about to do, then he would not have really been man. But I'm sure God was letting him to live as a man. So, but this particular day, he went to the party like every other person. Are we together?
Yes.
But when he went there, and he was told there was no wine, he said to the woman, what do you expect me to do? My time has not yet come. What Jesus did not know at that particular time, that his time had already come. That was his time. The time had unexpectedly come. And now he had to take action. And immediately, Jesus realized that it is no longer his agenda, but it is God's agenda. And so he took over. And you know, we as a people, God's time may come when we least expect. Yes, we know God is going to do something in our lives. Yes, we know God's promises are true and amen. But the problem is, we don't know when that time comes. And what we need to do, and we need to learn from Jesus, when that time comes, we need to take off our agenda and make it God's agenda, and then we move on with God's agenda. Amen. I know some people would argue that, it is not right. He knew everything was going on. And this statement may have meant something else. Not that because Jesus knew that time had come. No, Jesus was not acting. He knew the time would come. But the nature, because he was man, there was some limitations as a human being, as a man. And I remember, and I have just mentioned it again, that is why he was praying so much. That is why he was praying until he could sweat blood. He was not acting. That is the human nature. But even to us, God's time when we least expect. Yes, we may be here in church. We know God will do something, but he may do it today. He may have done it yesterday, but just because he just did it without a voice, we are like, time has not yet come. You know, sometimes, we as a people, we go along in our carefully organized lives. We live comfortably, seeking security, trying to work hard and accumulate our wealth. We live comfortably with our seeking happiness, seeking safety, seeking comfort, seeking success in life. And often something wakes us up. God steps in suddenly. And we become God's agenda, not our own. You know, our lives, when we least expect, the moment presents itself, and a voice says, do something. Act now. Maybe if you just tell it, maybe come like a voice telling you, come on, he did wrong, forgive. Or show something. Or help a friend. Or do whatever it is. But a voice will come. But sometimes when that voice comes, because it is, we least expect it, we say, it is not yet time. How often do we say, it is not yet time? Mom have just given us a testimony that Ben was telling him to come all the time, and he was saying, wacha nikae. Lakini God's time came wakati alileta Ben hapa Amerika, wakati wako ukafanya nini? ukafika, Mungu alikuwa anataka kukubariki na njia nyingine. But maybe there's a time that it is supposed to have been. Lakini sometimes the time comes so unexpectedly. Inakuja wakati hatukuwa tunafikiria hiyo mawazo, alafu tunasema it is not yet time. So we delay not because the time has not yet come, but we delay because we are delaying to do what has already happened and the time has already come. We usually say, give me more time. Mama alikuwa anasema give me more time. It is not yet time. But God time